Hi friends, BCAT. Brain is creating a thought. I am Kalpun Piso. I'm going to discuss today something that I've been talking about ad nauseum. Since 2007 I've been making videos concentrating basically in the most dangerous disorder that humanity has, which is religious psychosis. It's a schizophrenia nobody sees. We create thoughts with our brains. We know that. We are product of coitus. But the most dangerous things that nobody connects is that when the brain malfunctions, it has a disconnect, it suffers disease, it cannot tell between fact and fiction, and it accepts imaginary friends or foes' irrational beliefs as if they were reality. It happens in neurological disorders. In other words, people that are religious are crazy people. And the only ones that have an excuse are very young children and extremely ignorant people. And again, you can see that happening in the United States. These crazy things happening that nobody seems to see why these people are so crazy, like this this permit to kill rhinoceros. But because it's okay, because you protect the rhinoceros when you kill them. This is schizophrenia. This is psychosis. It's people that they cannot tell one thing or the other. The concepts are completely irrational. And this happens in all religious beliefs. It happens in churches. Because churches will tell you mythologies of many of 1,000 years ago as if they were a reality today in this 21st century. Texas is the most backwards state infected with Christ psychosis in the whole nation. There are a bunch of psychopaths over there. And you know, George Bush, a Christ psychotic infected imbecile, is from Texas. And a lot of people, and they pray and they have churches everywhere that are corrupting the mind of people. And they are psychotic people, they are schizophrenics. They pray for rain, they have churches everywhere, and churches keep people ignorant, theotardic, completely moronic, crazy people. And this is the problem in this country. And I repeat that. Religious beliefs are mental illness. It's a schizophrenia type disorder, and mentally healthy. In other words, atheists ought to say that, and they don't. A lot of the scientists are atheists should mention that people that believe in these gods and go to church and all that, they have faith, they do have a problem with the brain. It's important for us to define religion. What is a religion? A religion, of course, is the acceptance of all kind of mythological mumbo-jumbo crazy stuff. In other words, imaginary friends or foes as if they were reality. That's what a religion is. What is a religion created? Religion is created by the brain. Are we born with religion? No. We are born with a blank brain that cannot even speak. And during the imprinting period, it forms and starts learning. And it goes between fantasy and reality, navigating in a world that you don't know what's real and what is not, and you start getting educated. The brain is faulty. You begin accepting irrational things as if they were reality. This happens in all religions and also in schizophrenia. I mean, it's no if about it. It's science. The brain accepts unusual, bizarre beliefs, irrational beliefs, as they were reality when the brain malfunctions, is disease, has schizophrenia, temporal lobe epilepsy, suffers trauma, the temperature is too high, you are asphyxiating, you see these things. If the lack of oxygen, hypoxia, on your brain also gives you these weird beliefs and visions, and creates false memories, creates all kind of stuff. People they go to church, they have faith, they are people of schizophrenia, schizotypal disorder. Because the delusions are exactly the same. There's no difference between the beliefs and the delusions produced by faith in gods and demons and all that, to those delusions produced in people suffering from mild forms of schizophrenia, temporal lobe epilepsy, and all that. The same thing. There's no difference. There's no difference. And we should realize that. And all that diseases spread in churches. They are the poison of the country. This is the reason you have all these shootings, and all these killings, and all these murders, and killing animals, and now we're going to shoot rhinoceros. Because these people are crazy people. They're defective. And that's where you have the sadomasochism from. It's a psychosis. I will explain what religion is. It itself is a psychosis. I define it as such. Religion is a set of rules based on irrational mathematical concepts, including I for fib, imaginary friends or foes, irrational beliefs, that were used as a guide of governance by rulers of ancient cultures who were seen as divine prophets to give their people a moral compass of how to live. Connect the dots. The more you know, the more difficult it is for others to lie. Never believe what people tell you or what any book says. Unless you confirm it, you verify, you learn about the author. You ask a lot of questions. That is a must. You must connect dots and use deductive thinking to be able to arrive at the truth. You must always keep in mind you were created by coitus. Your creator is your dad, is the penis of your dad when he spits sperm into the cave of creation, which is your mom. Then, of course, creating your brain. That's what you create thoughts with. You navigate the world with the 5 senses. Sensory gating in the pulvinar nuclei. This is all the brain. Keep that in mind. A faulty brain creates faulty thoughts. Religion is a psychosis. It's an irrational set of imaginary concepts that are not based on truth. No religion is based on truth. None. Just like schizophrenia. They're all based in irrational fantasies and delusions. Example of chrysopsychotics. People with a completely irrational, they're just psychopaths. Exactly. And they all have a brain. They're all chrysopsychotics. Electromagnetism and chemical stimulation of the brachionius and pulvinar will change perception, inducing fear and false reality. A neural disconnect will occur. This man is crazy. And you can see his expression of schizophrenia in the Senate during the government shutdown. In an asylum, not in the Senate. His father is chrysopsychotic as a pastor, believes in imaginary friends. And as I said, he is a Christian, he's a chrysopsychotic. And as I said, this chrysopsychotic ought to take that finger and plug the hole in his brain where crap is leaking. In other words, this man is expressing neurological excreta, waste of the brain. In other words, thoughts are irrational and delusions and bizarre beliefs that he has expressed as if they were true. And this man is in the Senate. It's a disgrace. These are examples of Americans. Chrysopsychotic infected Americans. These people ought to be committed. This lady just died recently. A psychic No, she's a schizophrenic. Her body is rotting right now. That's her life after death, is being decomposed and rotten. This guy is a phony. It's actually believed, you know, it's a cry-psychotic, Deepak Chopra. This is another man that, you know, grew up in a Christian home. Shot people in Arizona. You have this incompetent, cry-psychotic, infected imbecile that ought to not be in the Senate. Ought to be retired in an insane asylum. That's where he belongs. They seem like this idiot here. And this crying moron. These people are disgusting. And they are in the Senate. They are in control of the country. This guy, same thing too. You see a Christian, a cry-psychotic Hitler, killed 6 million. He was elected, loved, moral. This guy, the National Rifle Association, the guy is an imbecile. But he's loved by everybody, by cry-psychotic infected imbeciles, especially those that hunt and kill rhinoceros and elephant and all that. They are disgusting. People that kill animals for fun and pleasure and entertainment ought to be committed. They are sadomasochistic, cry-psychosis infected imbeciles. Sane, in other words, atheist scientists are blind to the fact that religion is psychosis. Believing God is a mental illness, a schizophrenia type disease. You should never say religion without adding psychosis after it. Religious privilege disguised as religious freedom goes to Supreme Court. No, these are psychotic people. They're schizophrenics. And this is the Center for Inquiry. They should be ashamed of themselves. Not labeling, believe in imaginary friends and bizarre concepts as they were true, being considered sane. No, religious people are not sane. They have a problem with their brains. Infected imbecile. This lady is crazy. She is a schizophrenic, is a cry-psychotic, in fact, extremely ignorant. She's successful because she's in the United States of America. A cry-psychosis infected nation where people believing all that crap and elevate morons like her as intelligent teachers of rational thought. And she is not. She belongs in an institution. She has no idea what an atheist is. This imbecile, ignorant woman doesn't realize that atheism comes from a, without, and theos, God, or believing God, or believing imaginary friends. In other words, an atheist is a person without belief in God. In other words, imaginary friends. In other words, an atheist is a sane person, not like her, that she ought to be committed. Cry-psychosis infected imbeciles that invented cornflakes, the Kellogg's. This guy is so anti-sex, Christian imbecile. So he created this cornflakes to actually cure boys that were promiscuous, because he thought that boys' sex was really bad and boys very promiscuous. They call it a solitary vice. See, and people don't understand this. Cry-psychosis. The man was infected, a schizophrenic. Psychosis, infected with religious psychosis, it says that students shouldn't eat soy-based products because it can lead to gay sex. See, he's a rabbi, he's a psychiatrist. What is this guy doing? He belongs in a mental institution, just like Kellogg's. But they're considered sane. They're not sane. They're disgusting people. They're sick people let loose in the streets like if they were sane. They are not sane. They're insane. They're psychotic. They're cry-psychotic. They believe in imaginary friends. Moses Hitler, typical Christian, killed 6 million Christ killers, so-called, you know, the Jews. And that's what he called the Jews. This guy, Ron Hubbard, founded, it's a cry-psychotic, he founded Scientology. Can't you imagine that? They believe in space aliens. It's, you know, a psychosis. And this idiot here is another psychotic that ate too many datura flowers and henbane and all those things in the 1830s. This is Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormon beliefs. They believe in different planets, they believe in Planet Kolob, and all the crazy stuff in this 21st century. And there is a university called Brigham Young University. What do you think is taught in the university? Crazy stuff. Bizarre mathematical beliefs. These are crazy people. They should be committed. So atheists, sane people, wake up. President of American atheists, wake up. Religion is a psychosis, a mental illness. Go protest in churches. It's spread in churches. Disgusting people. Psychos. But a Christ psychosis infected imbecile, this guy ought to be committed. He says, parents to crack wrist, punch effeminate children. Nice going. And the reason is Christ psychosis. The imbeciles, they even have chicken pox party because they don't believe in evolution, they don't believe in science, they don't believe in immunizations. They are really disgusting Christ psychosis infected imbeciles that belong in a mental institution. They have a brain virus. A guy that was a candidate to be president for the God-obsessed party, the GOP, and he said the devil was behind all those sexual harassment allegations. This guy is saying, no, it's a Christ psychosis infected imbecile that ought to be committed. We even have one of those crazy Christ psychotic infected imbeciles in the Supreme Court. He believes in devils. Yes, he believes in all this demonic possession and crap like that. Is this guy sane? Of course not. What is he doing in the street? What is he doing in the Supreme Court? So atheist scientists, and wake up. Religion is a mental illness. President of American atheist, wake up. And don't be a pussy. Just go and tell it like it is and protest in churches. These people are disgusting. All these closet churches should be shut down. They rape the mind of children with all this garbage of demons and devils and sadomasochistic nonsense.
Theology based on the Bible, different theology.
This guy was a senator. This guy believed in resurrecting somebody that said with blood. What is he doing in the Senate? This imbecile, the psycho, the schizophrenic, atheist, wake up. Gina Scott, the head of the science education in the United States. This woman is blind also. She doesn't realize. She says, creationism is still crazy after all these years. Really? This is schizophrenia. It's Christ psychosis. You create thinking with the brain. Don't you realize that?
What's the difference between the beliefs of the creationists and the schizophrenics? Doesn't she understand that religion is a mental disorder? Religious psychosis.
Now, the brain is a creator of thought. A diseased brain creates God belief. All religions are a form of neurological disorder like a schizophrenia. Not much different. They have no rational thought. And this mirtazapine is an excellent medication. Just give that to any religious person and they will have a moment of lucidity. I guarantee it. Atheists, scientists, wake up. They should protest at churches. They infect and rape the brain of children with all that mumbo-jumbo crap that belongs in the 12th century, not the 21st. Mirtazapine is produced in Israel. See that? In Jerusalem, the city of nuts. They do have the Jerusalem syndrome over there. Please Google it. I made quite a few videos about that. How these crazy people, they believe they're Jesus or Mary or prophets and all that. That is a psychosis. I call it Christ psychosis in the United States because they believe in a resurrected somebody that's with blood. And the same thing happens in the city of nuts, Jerusalem. But they call it the Jerusalem syndrome. Really a true syndrome. And mirtazapine is good for that. This is the way we all were created. Not a God, not a hocus pocus being. No, we are product of evolution. 4 billion years when the planet was created. Study evolutionary science. We are created by a spit of sperm from our fathers into the cave of our mothers, initiating a zygote. And 9 months later, we emerge with a blank brain. No belief on anything. We are born without belief. If you believe in God and crap like that and you're educated and you're very intelligent, you have a problem, just like any schizophrenic, temporal lobe epileptic, or people that had too many drugs. Same thing. A defective brain can only create defective, irrational, false thoughts or beliefs. Was sacrificed, placed into the fire, because the Christ psychotics believe it was the Antichrist. Ask yourself, what person enjoys in this 21st century to go and to get dressed, clean your gun, go after an animal that is defenseless, and go hunt him, and you enjoy the animal being escaping you, and you are after him to kill it. You wound it, you kill it. What do? You enjoy that. That is a mental disorder. That is sadomasochism. It's a psychosis. You enjoy. People like this. This guy is a senator. Can't you imagine? He was going to be he was vice president under Mormon Christ psychotic Romney. And he's no different than this guy here. The guy that should believe he was a joker, and the guy is studying neurology and science and all that, and Christ psychotic. Nobody realizes it. And he loved that. He loved to, look at the eyes. He loved to pretend that he was a joker, and he killed these people in the in a theater. He enjoyed that, just like this imbecile here. Look at the eyes. Look at this guy here. Here, look at the enjoyment. He's enjoying this beautiful animal being killed. You think this is normal? No, this is a psychosis that doesn't belong in the 21st century. These people got their psychosis in churches, and they belong in mental institutions. They are psychopaths. But of course, their hero is named Zombie Jesus, is a God that saves with blood and saves for sin. So it's good because he killed himself, offered himself in sacrifice to save you from the sins. This is a psychosis, a schizophrenia, big time. Mental health demons like eating disorder. Of course, spirituality is not about air in the lungs. It's you shouldn't say spirituality. It's a Latin word. I mean, spiritus means air in the lungs. You should say oxygenated. Yes, if you don't have oxygen, you die, you suffocate. So that's what the spirit is. Our brains, our own, it's like a universe. It has more connections in the brain than galaxies in the universe. And it looks very much the same. That's the organ we think with. We create quantum thought, ideas, all kind of things. But when it's sick, it creates some God believe, and accepts them as reality. That is schizophrenia, a neurological disorder that makes the person accept irrational delusions, deluded beliefs as fact, where nothing is there. Psychosis does to you. This poor little baby, her mother, Margaret Schlosser, her mother Dana, heard the voice of God, imaginary friend or foe, commanded her to sew off the arms of her infant girl. Religious frenzy. No, religious psychosis frenzy. Idiots. That's religious psychosis for you. Let's call it for religious for what it is, a psychopathy. It's a form of schizophrenia, and nobody seems to see it. So atheists, scientists, wake up. Kill him to save others? Dallas, Hunt Club. These are psychotic people, psychopath. Yeah. And this is a psychosis everybody ignores. And these people are completely schizophrenic. They want to kill the rhinoceros to save them. It's like praying for rain in Texas. This is a psychotic state. They have churches all over the place. They corrupt the mind of children. They're making sadomasochistic imbeciles. And then they have missionaries going all over the place, corrupting other people. No wonder we are hated all over the world.
America is the most deluded and ignorant, self-righteous, racist, homophobic nation on the planet, thanks to churches. Christ psychosis.
The most ignorant. And that's the problem. Anti-science. They believe the earth is 6,000 years old. These people are deluded and psychic, and they are not put in mental institutions. And they get their disorder in church. Since they were little babies, the parents corrupt their children by taking them to church every Sunday. Or educating them at home. That's what you got the psychosis from. And Christ psychosis infected England. Video, see? Trying to get rid of this. And why does she believe this? Because she's a Christian. She goes to church and gets infected when she's a little girl from all that crap, the religious crap, and this idiot too. And they are not in institutions. They're loose in the streets. Look at this. DSS worker restaurant, the boy was handcuffed with a chicken around his neck. Christ psychosis infected lady working at DSS worker. Look at that. These are crazy people all over the place. They're Christ psychotics and nobody seems to see it. We all have this in our heads, synaptic regions, neural array. That's what create these delusions when something is wrong. And then you have all these problems, and exactly the same thing happens in schizophrenia and in all religions. There is no difference between the delusions of the religious and delusions found in schizophrenia. Then you see crap like this.
And atheist scientists do not protest in churches. What's wrong with them? Atheists are blind to this fact.
See, this Christ psychosis infected imbecile. Believe that it was May 21st, the rapture. If he wants to be raptured, this Christ psychotic idiot, why don't he jump from the Grand Canyon? And then he'll have life after death. For eternity. Take all you...
And atheist intellectuals like Dawkins, Harris, Dennett, they treat these people like they were sane. They are schizophrenics. They are no different than schizophrenics. They reason like schizophrenics, and this is spreading in churches. And the atheists are so blind, they don't say this.
And some of the atheists, scientists do not mention that we create all the thinking with the brain. When the brain is sick, it creates these beliefs in God crap. The scientists never mention this. Atheists, nobody mentions it. It's like all this is, you know, like people of faith are normal people. People that go to church and believe in all that crap, normal people. No, they all have emotions, and but they are produced in the brain. You have a problem. Sometimes you have a cingulate gyrus and the gyrus and angular gyrus and all this. You have problems. You have problems in your thinking, in your reasoning. And you're reasoning like religious and faith and, oh, let's go to church and kneel and the guardian angel and, you know, angel Moroni and crap like that. And this is exactly, they are reasoning exactly like schizophrenics. There's no difference. It's a neural array disconnect. Religious psychosis and schizophrenia. And it's a fact. It's right there. Neurology proves it. I'm not making this up. Just to study neurology. It's there. There are some chemicals that trigger this euphoria, beliefs in God. They enhance the beliefs. They call it the God chemical. But it just is serotonin and different chemicals combined. LSD can do that too. It's all in the brain. Neuroscientist Dr. Sapolsky created a really interesting video, 2009, called Evolution, Religion, he should have said Religious Psychosis, Schizophrenia, and the Schizotypal Personality. Religion, in a way, is a form of organized schizophrenia. He says it, he mentioned it, he connected the dots. United States found himself in the greatest mess ever, with all these wars and all these people killed. And the market collapsed and everything, thanks to this imbecile. Christ psychosis infected imbecile that should be in an insane asylum, not in the White House. God told him. Yeah. He was appointed, he believed to be appointed by some bitch Jesus to be president of the United States. Do you want an imbecile like that as president? Controlling the country with a nuclear point, trigger right there? Very, very, very dangerous. Hus claimed he was on a mission from God when launched the invasion of... And what is God? This is what people don't say. God is an I for fib. It's an imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief. The same like space aliens, ancient aliens, and all that. The same psychosis, the same schizophrenia type of beliefs. See these morons here? Describe psychotic effect. This is a scientist photographed the soul. Soul is nothing but air in the lung. Live in the body. Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, I did that too. I did that too in 1967. A trick exposure over there, long time ago. Idiots. You think this guy is sane? He's banging his head on the ruins of a Roman temple in the ancient Roman city of Jerusalem. All Roman belief, Roman religion, Roman imaginary friends or foes. And in this 21st century, this crazy guy here is believing in all the crap that this book says. Just like the Bible, any mythology book. Is this sanity? No. Is it different than schizophrenia? Not really, because the beliefs are exactly the same. With different names, but the beliefs are the same. Crazy, malfunctioning brain can only produce malfunctioning thought. Yes, interesting. Man jumped to his death off Hoover Dam. This is what I say. Prove your faith. You'll have eternal life. Jump. It's a really nice sight. You'll see the air rushing by, and then you'll snap and you'll be with Jesus for eternity. I just simply tell it like it is. Religious beliefs are schizophrenia under a different name. As simple as that. Call it religious psychosis. This is the greatest problem in this country. And all that mumbo jumbo in churches and temples and all that, that's what it is, mumbo jumbo from the 12th century. You believe in all that stuff to be reality, you definitely have to have a problem with your brain. Go see a neurologist. And it's a fact. Take mirtazapine, Zoloft, some other drugs, and you calm down. Or drink some nice, a bunch of these, and you'll see all kind of, put some henbane, datura flowers in this beer. You'll see the gods. They will all be with you. And it's interesting because religions are nothing but mumbo jumbo crap. Deluded, schizophrenic nonsense. And you have the mass and the church, which is nonsense with angels and all this, and the Eucharist, the bread turns into the flesh of Jesus and the wine turns into his blood. Well, I can do something very nice. I can turn this beer into urine. Yeah. This is what people don't realize. So let's keep the brain healthy. In other words, atheist, because that's what atheism means. A means no or without. And theos or Deus means God. But what is a God? Again, a God is an I for fib, an imaginary friend or foe. It's an irrational mythological thing, concept, which is not real. So you believe in things that, if you are absent of believing this, in these things that are not real, then you are, guess what? Healthy. You are sane. So therefore, if you're an atheist, you are sane. Enjoy the truth. Pace Diorum.